and Parinishta Bhakta. And the third type of Bhakta, Nirupeksha Sadhaka, and how they exhibit deceitfulness in 8 ways. Swanishta Bhakta has 6 ways that they exhibit deceitfulness. Parinishta Bhakta Sadhaka exhibit by 2 ways that we read yesterday. Today we will dwell on the 8 ways that Nirupeksha Sadhaka exhibit deceitfulness. First, thinking of oneself as an advanced devotee. 2. Thinking of oneself as superior to others simply by wearing the dress of a renounced person. 3. Collecting material wealth for food and clothing more than required. 4. Improperly associating with the opposite sex in the name of spiritual practices. 5. Staying with the materialistic people with the expectation of receiving wealth rather than visiting Krishna's temple and the devotees. 6. Being inwardly anxious and worried about collecting more wealth while making a pretense of performing devotional service. 7. Being more concerned with external dress and rules and regulation than devotion for Krishna. And 8, last one, overlooking or neglecting the main purpose of spiritual life, which is developing love for Krishna. So our Acharya has revealed to us all the anarthas are coming out from this one cheating tendency, deceitfulness. So we are reading yesterday, we are reading from Simanaha Shiksha, Splendid Instructions to the Mind by Raghunath Das Goswami. We are on verse number 6 and the commentary by His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj. So I think today Maharaj will be deliberating what we read already, types of deceit. Srila Bhakti Vinod in his commentary says, there are 3 categories of spiritual practitioner, sadhaka. He calls 2 types of householder devotee as a swanishta sadhaka and parinishta sadhaka, and the renounced devotee as nirupeksha sadhaka. He further writes, all 3 types are benefited only when they become thoroughly honest and give up deceit, pretense, and hypocrisy. Otherwise, they are surely vanquished. Each type of sadhaka has distinct ways of exhibiting a deceitful nature. So I think we covered this. More in detail, we have already covered. Devotion or profession. Impediment to spiritual progress may also come because we maintain our householder life by what is essentially professional kirtan. That is a subject that deserves careful thought because there are so many statements in our literature advising against meeting one's family expenses by speaking Srimad Bhagavatam or by becoming a professional preacher. The danger is that it becomes a business. Someone may be a car mechanic, a teacher, or an accountant, and someone is a preacher. Everybody has a way to maintain his family life, and it becomes exactly that, a business. And this may occur in any department. Preaching becomes a way to maintain your family. Being a pujari becomes a way to maintain your family. And devotional service becomes a way to maintain your family. It becomes a profession. Since our interest lies in building up our bank accounts, we are interested in preaching to the wealthy or preaching where people give us good money. And we collect money not for a preaching project, to distribute books or to spread kirtan, but to pay the rent, to save money for the kids' education, and rest of the thing. A devotee may sometimes accept some modest contributions for maintenance. But when our program is meant mainly for maintaining our family by professional Vaishnava service, then the situation need to be looked at. When we first went to Vrindavan, this is Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj speaking, we saw the deities being maintained very poorly. Basically, deity worship was a family business. Prabhupada's evaluation was that the pujaris just keep the temples open to collect some money and don't really care about the deity, except as a gimmicks or tool for making money. Sometimes we see that people are willing to show, but everything they do has a price to it. We then have to ask, is that devotional service or is that a job? And if it's a job, is this really what Prabhupada wanted? Is this really what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to teach? That devotional service is a means of earning your livelihood. That's not really the idea. Better to earn your livelihood by honest means and do service. You can have a career, make money, and meet your family expenses so that everything that you do for the temple or for the preaching is actually devotional service. It's not mixed. You don't have to ask, okay, what's my compensation package? No. You can say, my family expenses are met, and this is what I do for service. So much of our time is taken up with the responsibility of family maintenance, but they don't take up all our time. So the balance of our time we can use for Krishna service. We don't waste it watching television, talking prajalpa, and hanging out. We can invest that balance of our precious time when we are not earning a livelihood in devotional service. There is a strong case to be made for that approach. I think very strong. Somehow or other, Guru and Krishna were merciful to me. One time, Tamal Krishna Maharaj actually asked me, that Shyam Sundar, you can raise good money. You are raising this quite a bit of money for our project while working. Why don't you give up the work and you can take for your family maintenance, but it would be very beneficial to the temple. You will raise much, much more. And my answer to my Guru Maharaj was that Gurudev, these instructions I will not be able to follow. I would never would like to take money from the temple, but still I'll be able to render the service, and Krishna made a perfect arrangement that I found the job where I was able to dedicate while working for the temple. So it's possible. So we will be reading now from Prabhupada Lilamrita. We are reading on volume number 3, chapter title as New Jagannath Puri. I'll read some last paragraph to bring up to the speed because our memory is so dull. What we eat as a dinner, we don't remember. The guests sat in row on the floor and the devotees began serving prasadam, offering the first plate to Prabhupada. The food preparation were those Prabhupada had personally taught the devotees in his kitchen. Samosas, halwa, puris, rice, several cooked vegetables, fruit chutneys and sweets. All the Sunday specials. The guests loved the prasadam and ate as much as they could get, while the devotees, especially the expert woman, served more and more prasadam. The guests relax and enjoy an evening of feasting and convivial conversation. After Prabhupada tasted all the preparation, he looked up with raised eyebrows. Quote, very nice preparations. All glories to the cookers. Unquote. That's where we left. So we will continue. A few minutes later, as the feasting continued, Srila Prabhupada spoke into the microphone. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavantu Me. Howard, repeat this. Hayagriva swallowed, cleared his throat, and spoke up. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavantu Me. Prabhupada, yes, this should be chanted. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavantu Me. A boy asked what it meant. Hayagriva replied, oh, Lord of the universe, please be present before me. When Prabhupada noticed an older, respectably dressed man leaving the room without receiving a feast plate, Prabhupada became concerned. Quote, oh, why is he going away? Ask him to come, unquote. And I have seen a lot of the temple, they have a very strict rules and regulation about prasadam. But my Gurudev told me personally that as soon as you offer the food to the deities, after even 15 minutes, if you know someone prominent or whoever may be, and they are living, give them prasadam. But we have a rules. We don't serve people leave early. Something to think about. A boy ran after him, opening the temple door and calling, quote, "Please don't leave Swamiji's requests." As the man re-entered the storefront, Prabhupada requested, quote, "Please, please take prasadam." And turning to the servers, he instructed, quote, "Give him first." And so the feasting continued beneath the altar of Lord Jagannath and under the auspices of his servant, Srila Prabhupada. The next day, acting on a whim, the devotees took the Jagannath deity off the altar and carried him to Golden Gate Park for a kirtan. Within minutes, hundreds gathered in the meadow below Hippie Hill, dancing and chanting around Lord Jagannath. After several hours, the devotees returned him to the altar. Prabhupada disapproved, quote, "The deity should never leave the temple. The deities don't go out to see the people, except on special occasions. They are not for parks for birds to drop stool on. If you want to see the deities, you have to visit them." Lord Jagannath present quickly beautified the temple. Devotees make garlands for him daily. Jadurani's painting of Lord Vishnu arrived from New York, and Govinda Dasi had painted a large portrait of Srila Prabhupada, which now hung beside his seat. Devotees also put Indian prints of Krishna on walls. The light flashing upon Lord Jagannath made his eyes seem to pulsate and his colors move and jump, and he became a special attraction in the psychedelic neighborhood of Haight-Ashbury. As Prabhupada had requested, devotees and guests began bringing offering before the altar of Lord Jagannath. Like yesterday we read, Prabhupada said, when you visit the temple, at least bring one fruit and one flower. A stalk of wheat, half a loaf of bread, a box of saltines, a piece of fudge or candles, flowers or fruit. Hearing that before using something for yourself, you should first offer it to God. Some hippies began bringing their new clothes and offering them with a prayer to Lord Jagannath before wearing them. These hippies didn't follow Lord Jagannath's instructions, but they wanted his blessings. Each night, the devotees performed the Aarti ceremony, just as the Prabhupada had taught them, taking turns, offering a candle before Lord Jagannath. When the devotee asked whether they could add anything to the ceremony, Prabhupada said yes, they could also offer incense. He said there were many more details of deity worship, numerous enough to keep the devotees busy 24 hours a day. But if he were to tell them everything at once, they would faint. So speaking privately in his room to one of his disciples, Prabhupada said that during Kirtan in the temple, he thought of Lord Chaitanya dancing before Lord Jagannath. He told how Lord Chaitanya had traveled to Puri and danced before Lord Jagannath in such an ecstasy that he had been unable to say anything more than Jaga, Jaga. Lord Chaitanya had been thinking, quote, Krishna, for so long I wanted to see you, and now I'm seeing you, unquote. When Lord Chaitanya had lived in Puri, as many as 500 men at a time would visit him, and every evening there would be a huge kirtan with 4 parties, each with 4 mudanga players and 8 kartal players. Good. One party this side, one party this side, Prabhupada explained. Good. One party back side, one party front side. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the middle. They would all dance, and the 4 parties would chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That was going on every evening so long. He stayed at Jagannath Puri. The devotees understood that there was a great difference between themselves and Swamiji. He had never been a hippie. He wasn't at home amid the illusion of Haight-Ashbury's LSD, psychedelic posters, rock musicians, hippie jargon, and street people. They knew he was different, though sometimes they forgot. He spent so much time with them every single day, eating with them, joking with them, depending on them. But then sometimes they would remember his special identity. When they chanted with him in the temple before Lord Jagannath, he, unlike them, would be thinking of Lord Chaitanya's kirtan before Lord Jagannath in Puri. When Lord Chaitanya has seen Jagannath, he had seen Krishna, and his love for Krishna has been so great that he had gone mad. Prabhupada thought of these things to a degree far beyond what his disciple could understand. And yet, he remained with them as the dear friend and spiritual instructor. He was their servant, teaching them to pray like him, to be able to show Krishna, O Lord of the universe, kindly be visible unto me. So Govinda Dasi had a question for Swamiji. He had mentioned briefly that Lord Chaitanya used to cry in separation from Krishna, and had once even thrown himself into a river, crying, quote, "Where is Krishna?" unquote. She was unsure whether her question would be proper, but she waited for an opportunity to ask it. So one evening after the lecture, when Prabhupada asked for questions and there were none, Govinda Dasi thought, quote, "This is my chance," unquote. But she hesitated. Her question wasn't on the subject of his lecture, and besides, she didn't like to ask questions in public. Quote, "No questions?" Srila Prabhupada looked around. Govinda Dasi thought Swamiji seemed disappointed that there were no questions. He had said several times that they should ask questions and clear up any doubts. Again he asked, "Have you got any questions?" Then Govinda Dasi, "Oh well, Could you tell about Lord Chaitanya? Asking Prabhupada. Govinda Dasi asking, where is Krishna? Prabhupada. Govinda Dasi. Could you tell about Lord Chaitanya asking, where is Krishna? And falling in the water? Or what that be not? Prabhupada smiled. Yes, yes, very nice. Your question is very nice. Oh, I'm very glad. Then Prabhupada started giving the answer. Lord Chaitanya, he was the greatest symbol of Krishna Bhakti, a devotee of Krishna. So just see from his life, he never said that I have seen Krishna. Never said I have seen Krishna. He was mad after Krishna. That is the process of Chaitanya philosophy. It is called Viraha Bhava. Viraha means separation. Separation. Krishna, you are so good. You are so merciful. You are so nice. But I'm so rascal. I'm so full of sin that I cannot see you. I have no qualification to see you. So in this way, if one feels the separation of Krishna, Krishna, I want to see you, but I'm so disqualified that I cannot see you. This feeling of separation will make you enrich in Krishna consciousness. Feeling of separation, not that Krishna, I have seen you, finished, all right. I have understood you, finished. All my business finished. No, perpetually think of yourself that I'm unfit to see Krishna, and that will enrich you in your Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada continued. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displays this feeling of separation. This is Radharani's separation. When Krishna went from Vrindavan to his place, living only 11 years in Vrindavan, his father's place, Radharani was feeling in that way, always mad after Krishna. So Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, took the separation feeling of Radharani. This is the best way of worshipping Krishna, becoming Krishna conscious. So you know that Lord Chaitanya fell on the sea. Quote, Krishna, if you are here, Krishna, if you are here, unquote. Similarly, the next devotees, Lord Chaitanya's direct disciples, the Goswamis, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they also, the same disciplic succession, they also worship Krishna in their separation feeling. There is a nice verse about them. Sri Prabhupada sang, He Radhe Braj Devi ke, Che Lalite hi Nanda Sunokuta, Shri Govardhana Kalpa Padapa, Tale Kalindi Vanyakutaha, Gosantvai iti Sarvanto Vraje Pure, Kedar Maha Vihuvalu, Vande Rup Sanatana, Raghu Yugo, Sri Jiva, Gopal. These Goswamis also later on, when they were very much mature in devotional service, what were they doing? They were daily in Vrindavan Dham, just like a madman. Krishna, where are you? That is the quality. Hare Krishna. It is a very nice question. Srila Prabhupada paused and uttered a thoughtful, He remained silent. They also remained silent, watching him. He sat cross-legged on the black velvet pillow on the redwood dais. His hands were folded, his eyes closed, and he became overpowered by the inner feeling of ecstasy. Although the simple devotees present could not know what was happening, they could see him enter a deep inward state. They could feel the atmosphere transform into awesome devotional stillness. They kept their eyes fixed on him. I think this is a wonderful place to stop. We should be punctual. Some devotees have to engage in some other activities, so we should stop here before they leave. We would like to offer our humble obeisances at the desk of wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Vanchakalpatarubhasya kripa sindhu bhayavacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So I think we will stop here and see if anybody has any question, comment, corrections, or chastisement. As Prabhupada did, we will wait for a little, 15 seconds. If not, then we will end our session. And if Krishna so desire, we will see you tomorrow. Before